Recording has started. So a few IT issues this morning to get everything working. Thank you for those who were here earlier and those of you who've joined online for the webinar. So the next section is called Creating Content Using Social Media. I'm just going to flick to share my screen so you can see the presentation. One moment. So for those of you who weren't here before, so I run a digital media agency based in Griffith, and so our next section of our training is to, oh, I've got the wrong presentation up, sorry. One thing. Yeah, that was too good to be true. Sorry. Okay, so now we're going to kick on and keep moving through today's content courses. So the next one is about creating content using social media and how you can grow your online audience. Don't mind that, that's just a phone call coming through to the IT here that's not relevant to our training today. And no, I don't know how to stop it. Okay, so session 2, creating content using social media. Let's kick off. So I'm just going to do a short bit of what is marketing and what's the goal of it, and then we're going to break it down into the next section. So what does marketing aim to deliver? Right message, right time to the right people with the intention of driving all your leads and sales into your business. So you want to put content out there, you get people engaging with you on social media, they become prospects because they might want to get their car fixed or buy a dress or buy some lollies, and then they become a customer. So it's just putting them into like a sales funnel, very much like it says on the screen. When we think about marketing and digital, there's been a huge shift from print to digital. So, you know, I even learnt my trade working in a media agency when it was pretty much all print, and it's a very different. So print is one size fits all. You put an ad in the newspaper, for example, and that ad goes to everyone, and it's a blanketed approach to marketing. But with digital, what's really cool is that you get insights, so you can understand that you have a bunch of 18-year-olds who are looking at your content. So, and this is when you go into things a bit deeper, but you know, you can say, all right, there's heaps of 18-year-olds following my content. They're not going to be interested in the same things as the caravan and camping demographic, but they're also my customers. So when you're breaking down and looking at digital marketing, you would use different words and even pictures to like to link, to connect to those different people. The good thing about like the niche businesses that we've got in this session today, and even working in regional, yes, we do have a bit of a blanketed approach, but social media, you're putting out the message of your brand and your story to engage, but when you want to start making more advertising campaigns, that's when you would target it and break it down to the niche. For example, at the cake shop, you probably do birthday cakes, maybe, I hope so when I say that, but you know, a 21st-year-old's birthday cake. Oh, so then you create content about catering, or let's go party pies, because you said party pies before. You are catering for parties, and there's a bunch of Christmas parties coming up. Have you ordered your Christmas party pies? And, you know, targeting that, all breaking it down. For the lollies, maybe lollies for bonboniere, for the wedding gifts and stuff like that. A lot of people getting married probably about 25 to 35-year-olds, somewhere in that gap, then you would target it. Are you getting married? These are our type of bonbonniere, our Christmas, our wedding gift packages. I'm not sure about write-offs, but you know, maybe there tend to be younger males who'd bring cars into the shop. So had an incident lately, and that's pretty much targeted at, lots of times it's fellas. So making sure the pictures and the words will attract those people. And that's what's really different about print and digital. You niche it down, you break it down to the people who are interested and not just putting it out there to everyone. It's also really cost effective if you are comfortable doing it yourself, obviously, or get practice. Practice makes perfect. You didn't all become great in your own trades overnight, so yeah. Yeah, and this is just another example. One size fits all. So this is an ad of those billboards at the bus station when you go to the city. Whereas we've gone to online, and this was an example of the landing page that you came to when you registered for the event. So it adapted on mobile and desktop and on tablets. All right, social media. More than 4 billion people around the world now use social media each month. On average, nearly 2 million new users are joining them every day. And a typical user spends about 15% of their waking life using social media platforms. So, you know, you see people not even looking when they cross the road. What are they doing? They're all like this. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're online. It's not like they're, you know, writing an essay on here. They're engaging online, and that's why it's important to have content. In Australia, we now have over 22.3 million internet users. I think our population is 23 million. Isn't that a crazy statistic? And that's why it's important for us to be online. All right, so now I'm hoping these videos work. So I said to the previous group, I did a challenge to myself really, and Nicole and I came up with all these social media content for 7 days of social media. And we went and did bite-sized videos of the must-know information for each one. So I'm hoping it works now because this has lots of good content on there that I forget to say. Oh, come on, Kelly, what's going on? Maybe.
No, you can turn this one.
What happens if I do this?
Hi, I'm Catherine, Candid Marketing, and today we're going to focus on social media. 97% of marketers include social media as part of their strategy. So we know the traditional platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, Yelp. Then there's those new ones, the new kids on the block really, like TikTok. Snapchat's a bit older now, but however, it's extremely popular. When it comes to working out which social media platform is suited to you, you need to really take a step back. And first, you need to pick your channels that's suited to your target audience. Each of those different platforms I named, plus the other 500,000 that are floating around in the background, have different target markets who they attract. If you pick too many of these platforms to work with, you're going to start to spread yourself a little bit too thinly, and your message is going to get a little bit lost. That said, we do recommend that you pick 2 to 3 different platforms to work with, and make sure you're comfortable with them and understand the different target audience that are associated with those different platforms. So something that you could think about would be, 1, who will I reach on this platform? 2, what types of posts are required for my message to go further? And 3, and how are they unique and different to what you're doing on the other platforms?
Guys online, can you hear and see that video? Can you just put something in the chat? Yeah. Thank you, Karina. All right. I went through this slide before, Oh yeah, it is working online. So can you guys hear that from my computer? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so social media use around the world. I had this slide up before, so sorry for those of you who were tuned in before. And these are just some really great stats to think about why social media is important in business. I understand that we are in a regional area, and we don't have millions of people walking through, but it's the concept still applies. You still want to be engaging with your local communities, and getting them on board to follow and share and essentially come into the shop or the business and engage and give you their money, really. So total number of active social media users in the world is 4.14 billion. Tell you what, it'd be awesome if someone were to Google how many people are in the world while we're doing our presentation and to have that as a comparable stat. Maybe Kelly could do that. Do you want to Google how many people there are in the world? I'd like to know that. I think that would be an interesting stat for us. The percentage of total social media users accessing via mobile is 99%. You do typically get a lot of office-based workers who are still on their social media on their desktop, but most people are using it through their devices. And that's actually a really good point also when it comes to websites and making sure they're optimised for mobile use. 7.8 billion people in the world and 4.14 billion have a website. And that's what's that, like 62, 60, somewhere between 60 and 65%? Yeah, that's nuts.
Kelly, you must have an updated one. I got 7.594 billion.
Oh, my one was predicted.
Yours was predicted, is it? 7.4. There you go. That's a good chunk.
Amazing. Think about it.
Exactly. And, for businesses that are able to sell online with e-commerce ability, you've got untapped resources of the whole population of Australia to market to, like especially with your boiled lollies, and
souvenirs,
Yeah. You've got to find that niche.
Yeah, exactly.
Like boxes of lollies and that for specific things just wouldn't work here. They work in the city, but they wouldn't work here because for me to get the lollies in to do that, I'd have to basically have a month's notice to start off with.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I did baby baskets when I first started. They just didn't go anywhere. And like people have babies.
Yeah.
But women have babies and they're around here, and they just didn't go.
Yeah, okay.
You've got to find that niche.
You got to find your niche. Yeah, I definitely.
Works with your population where you are.
Yeah, exactly. And if it depends on that type of business, and depends, like with the example for the cars, then there'd be people, local businesses, or within the catchment area of the council. Bakery, unless I'm yet to go there. I wanted to go there this morning. But if you're making they're really on trend at the moment are those shortbread biscuits in a plastic bag with a logo iced on it or something like that. Like that's super trendy at the moment. They don't have to just be here. You make them, put them in a box and send them away to corporates in Melbourne. People are buying that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so why is digital marketing important? The average customer needs 11 touch points on the path to purchase. 70% of consumers visit 3 or more channels when doing a product research. I'm just going to turn this, so if you have a question, just put it in the chat and I can see it on the other screen. I remember when I used to do ads for Paddy's Markets about 10 years ago in Sydney, and the radio statistics guy said you have to hear an ad 24 times before your brain recognises it. So, now it comes to digital, like 11 touch points. What's that? Your brick and mortar store, or your Facebook, or an email, a telephone call, a newspaper ad, a radio, like there's all these different ones. Luckily, if we're focusing on just local business, we don't have to push it that hard, but if you're planning on expanding and going into e-commerce and you want to be the face of Candy, sorry, I lived in England for a while. Candy, they're the things to think of. I'm not saying that everyone needs to go out and make 11 touch points. 11 touch points could be 11 posts on social media, for example. It's just that they need to see you 11 times before they'll buy it. Just something to keep in mind. And even receptionist as a touch point. If you're still not convinced, all right, I've got a quiz. All right, the average human attention span is, what do you reckon? 4 seconds, 7, 9 or 12? Pop something in the chat, Karina.
7. 4 or 7? No, I'm on 4.
All right, so 50-50. So Karina says 4. And it's 7 seconds.
Oh, 7.
Yeah, so that's how much time you've got to engage with someone. How many searches are conducted on Google every second?
Every second. Oh, God.
A, B, C or D? C? Green. C's and D's? C, 85,000. What percentage of web traffic is mobile?
Yeah.
No. C. Yes.
I must admit, I was pretty shocked at this one. 51.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I can understand that actually because the older people,
They will use tablets.
yeah, but some of them don't use either. Or
But also, when you think about it, a lot of businesses are cloud-based or using computers. So I have my phone on me for when it rings, but I pretty much take this everywhere.
Yeah.
This is
people come in when they're travelling, and I have a lot of people coming in that use their iPhone with their maps on it or travel thing to where they're going.
Yeah.
And they come in and they're lost. They need a paper, like your maps will get you where you want to go eventually, but you need a map, a physical map, so you know where you're going.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they just get lost. It's amazing.
Mm.
And I agree with that because I've used that sometimes and you go around the block and up the road and out of your way, you get to where you're going,
Yeah.
but you need that physical map. Still,
Because if you're familiar with somewhere and you know that, you just duck down here and there and you're there, but
Google
probably
Maps
only
can take
needs up there, down, they'll take the main roads.
yeah, it's quite amazing.
I actually remember before Google Maps, I used to print out when I worked in Sydney where I was going when I had to go to a supplier's, and I'd print it out on an A4 piece of paper. So when I got to, I knew how to get to the suburb or a landmark, and then I'd have an A4 piece of paper to be like, all right, this way. All right, so how many unique monthly users does Facebook have in Australia?
12, B.
What do we think? 1, 2, 3, 4. Karina, you got an answer? All right, let's have a look. 16 million.
Wow.
Another reason is why it's important to get online. I'd like to see the stat. It wouldn't be hard for me to pull it up, but the stats from pre-COVID to post-COVID on how many people went onto social media.
That'd be triple by now, wouldn't it?
Now, I don't want you to take this one and get disheartened by it, but what percentage of content is ignored online? So when you think about all those emails that you get and you're like, leave me alone, and you delete them, all the clutter.
I didn't have I ignore it.
75%.
75.
So yes, we do need to make content. Yes, we need to put it out there. Is one a week enough? No, but yes, but you got to put something out. Otherwise you are going to get ignored online. All right, so this one I'm just going to define your customer. So it's really important to understand who you're talking to. And I know for all of you, and Karina, I've even touched point on how to create content for a demographic, whether it's young people who've bashed up their cars or bombonieri or whatever. So who is your customer? Oh, sorry, I thought a notification went up. A good understanding of who your customer is crucial for the success of your marketing strategy and your business. Understanding who you are selling to will help you decide what your product and services mix will include, but it also affects how and where you market. Pardon me. Understanding your customer isn't only about how old they are and where they live. When defining your customer, ask yourself, who are we trying to reach? What do we know about them? And what challenges can we solve for them? Okay, so this is an example of a customer profile. And, you know, like this is pretty like high tech when you're trying to think about breaking it out. But if you were, and this could be an activity for you, if you were to draw your ideal customer on a piece of paper, what characteristics would they have? Are they male or are they female? Are they younger? Are they older? Are they retirees? You can have multiple ones, but I just want you to think about one of your customer profiles. I know for the agency, I actually have 2 different customer profiles that I've got. They're based on an age demographic and understanding and a gender as well. Well, one of them is. And what incentivizes and motivates them. So one of them was people who like early adapters to technology is one of the characteristics that I was looking at. And those who need the extra support to, to get it going on there. So I forgot your name, Kathy? No. What's your name? Pardon?
Wendy.
Oh, sorry, Wendy. So, your customer profile might be 25-year-old farmer, probably got 2 cars, definitely has had a car accident, likes to drive past, probably goes to Denny Ute muster, and that's just me rattling off the top of my head. So, that's your customer profile. You probably have lots of them, but that's one of them. So, all right, when you're making social media content, how do I talk to Mark, who reaches all these characteristics? Heading up to Denny Ute Muster, maybe want to get all those bumps out or give the car a shine or something like that. Are they on, what are their goals? I read a book, and it's a sales, well, not sales, it's a marketing book, but it was about this guy, and he has built this huge empire, and he actually did his own customer profile, and it was a lady called Jenny, and he even had it narrowed it down, and it was a live video. I did the study and I did the book, and then I watched one of the presentations, and there's 100 people in the room, and he's like, I want to talk to you about customer profiles, and he's like, for my business, I targeted a Jenny. And then the crowd's laughing. Anyway, the video goes and pans the room, and at this point I realised majority of the audience was female, and they were 55 plus. Anyway, and he goes, Jenny's got a family. She had them young. She, she was a stay-at-home mother, and then she transferred into the workforce. She couldn't find her job in the world, so then she created her own business, and she's going from strength to strength. And Jenny has 2 dogs, and he broke it down that. So anyway, it kind of finished, and then he went to move on, and this lady stood up, and she's like, I'm Jenny. And it was and it wasn't pretend, you could see the emotion and the rawness of it. I was like, oh, he knew his target audience. So know your target audience, know how to reach them. Besides that, he had narrowed her down pretty much to the characteristics, for someone else to identify them, oh yeah, that is me, and for her to be in that room, obviously he did his job. Focus on the right customer, the right time, the right message. Don't try to be everything to everyone. It's okay to say no. I've had to say no to potential clients, and you never want to say no to new business, but sometimes people aren't just suited, and so you're allowed to say no if they don't fit in your brand and your business model of what type of work you want to do. I'm assuming you don't make birthday cakes, but if someone came in
We do. We don't like to because it's so time consuming.
Yeah, exactly.
But
So
and they're very nice.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. but like, you know, someone comes and says, I want a cake, and you're like, well, we're not really cake people. But you kind of, sometimes you might take it on, and sometimes you might not. But if someone wants something like a crock and bush from MasterChef, then you go, no. Sponge cake? Yeah.
Yes.
So, no, like, that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
you know, where's the line, and how far over the line are you really going to?
Yeah.
Is it in the core value of your business, which is probably more business than marketing, but it still applies. All right. So I'm from Griffith, and what do we have a lot of in Griffith? Wine. And winers. So when I was creating this, I thought it'd be fun to put it on wine bottles. And this is a way for you to explain social media as a point of discussion. All right, so Twitter. So Twitter is used for in the current moment. So it's happening right this second. I'm tweeting, and they have a short character of words. I'm enjoying a glass of red wine. #red, #wine. So right this second, this is what I'm doing. Facebook. I like wine. Do you like wine? Share my picture. Yeah. Instagram. Here is a photo with a lot of filters on it that looks really cool of a glass of wine that I'm drinking. Yeah. LinkedIn. This is my favorite one. My expert skills include drinking wine. And then Google, which I'll talk about in a second. I've just joined a circle of wine drinking enthusiasts. Are you all familiar with LinkedIn and Google My Business? That's okay if you're not, we're going to get there. All right, so this is a video. Did I play this one? No, this is the one that didn't work before. Yeah. So let's watch this. So we did the Facebook. We talked about Facebook and Instagram previously, just before this morning. So just bear with me for the others. And now we'll hopefully get the video to work better.
Hi, it's Catherine, Candid Marketing. And so yesterday's video, we've said we're going to catch up today and talk about one of 4 different social media platforms that you should be using or could be using in your business to go a bit further. So you're seeing this and I'm popping up on your Facebook feed, or you've joined us in our newly created Facebook group. And so it seems fitting that we would start this week's special clips with Facebook. Okay, Facebook. Let's take it back down to basics. So Facebook is about communicating and discovery. And when I say communicating, I'm saying sending out a message, not broadcasting everything that you have is for sale. It's the home of your social media. So it's a place for you to get familiar with your followers, who's doing your engagements, and have a look at the really exciting insights on the back end. And, you know, sharing kind of memes and fun stories and things that are going on inside your brand. Or I've also talked about your brand personalities and your brand stories before. So Facebook is the perfect platform for you to be communicating those on. Here are my top 2 tips for Facebook. So my tip number 1 is to use video. Ironically, you're looking at me on a video on Facebook right now. I know. In 3 years, video on Facebook has increased by 250%. That's a lot of content that's being watched every day. And 1/3 of all users online are watching video. Essentially what you're doing right now, really, when you think about it. Number 2, invest in some ad spend. So Facebook's pretty tricky, and back in the day, you used to be able to put a post up and it had a huge reach, and you'd be like, oh, this got this many, or this got this many thousand. You tend to find now with business accounts, it doesn't happen. So you need to put a bit of money where your mouth is if you want someone to see your content and click and buy. Thanks for watching. We want to know what you're thinking, so make sure to leave a comment below. And what you say will help us shape the content of these videos in the upcoming weeks and months ahead. Stay tuned for more Candid.
So yeah, we made a whole week of social media content, so there's some good videos in here. But I know you've watched it a second time, but did you get something out of it? Yeah. Cool.
So what did you say? Live video is one thing that's very important. And you said invest in, what was it?
Advertising.
Advertising.
It doesn't cost that much because I've done it and you pay like $10 or up to $20.
But you've got to be careful when you go in and do the ads, because there's one there that you can pay for that you think you're getting it cheaper, And it can go for weeks and it might cost you $100 where you just want one to pay for $25. I learnt that at the last thing. That's why I haven't posted any, because I'm trying to remember what it was. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll talk about ads a bit further on. There's some new updates on their algorithm that was a bit interesting I learnt recently. Okay, so Twitter. So, it's all about starting a conversation and finding new audiences, driving your brand awareness and engaging. So, for example, have you tried our freshly baked bread? And then question mark, hashtag Riverina producers. Are we still Riverina or Murray?
Like I've never been on Twitter.
No, I've never been on Twitter.
I don't use Twitter, and we only have one client who does. Twitter's really popular in agricultural businesses. A lot of farmers love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to do the socials for a machinery business, and Twitter was their number one platform. I don't use it because I've already decided on the platforms that are suited to my target audience and how I want to communicate. So it's just about being aware that every platform targets people differently. I'm just going to play this.
We're going to finish our social media week on Twitter. You see Twitter all the time. It comes up in news articles daily at the moment. This was seen on Twitter and this is news. And it's also really popular because there's one president around the world somewhere that uses it daily to get their message across. And you can't miss that on your social media feeds, whichever way you want to take it. Twitter's a great tool for discovering and bridging. And when I say bridging, it's bridging the gap of communication between a B2B, business to business, or B2C, business to consumer. Fantastic tool for business development as well, because it makes you become an authority on the topic of conversation. We've come to the end of the week, so here are my top 2 tips for using Twitter. One is use it to tweet and engage rather than broadcast, so making those conversations, not just saying, I'm here, look at me. Number 2, use hashtags wisely. There's no need for you to fill a whole tweet full of hashtags. You only want to use ones that are appropriate to your brand, conversations you want to be involved in. Otherwise, you're going to alienate your customers and lose followers. That's never ideal. I'm Catherine, Candid Marketing. Thank you.
So it's just a platform to be aware of, really. Instagram. So Instagram is image-led. This is where you could have like a before and after, some new dresses that have just come in. Some new dresses that may have just come in, and fabrics and stuff like that. Behind the scenes, last year they still had grads. I don't know, it's been a long year. I went and helped a photographer in town who does grad photos. So I just took over her social media channels and did everything in black and white. So it was like behind the scenes, and all the kids loved it. They felt like they were movie stars, but none of their photos were in colour like they get from the professional photographer. So, just approaching it in a different way.
So with Instagram, do you join that as a business? Or?
Yeah, so all your platforms you need to be set up as a business account to get the most out of them. And it also gives you insights and stuff. So once you start playing around with them, and if they're both business accounts, you'll be able to link them together. Okay, this was a little 1 minute.
Hi everyone, this is Catherine, Candid Marketing. Today we're going to be talking about Instagram. It's Saturday morning, so I know you're laying in bed, whereas where I want to be, so I'm going to make this quick. So what is Instagram as a social media platform? It's an image-led platform where you can tell a brand story or a message or sell a product using really nice style photography. That photography needs to be consistently posted up there. It needs to be relevant to the market that you're talking to. And you need to be using some hashtags in there as well. We can talk about hashtags at a later date, but the general consensus is yes to hashtags, no to too many. Our top tip this morning on using Instagram is all about using Instagram stories. This is a great way for you to keep front in mind with your followers online by putting out content regularly. It's also a fantastic way for you to drive traffic back to your website or back to your store, and then create that user journey back into revenue that's going into your pocket. Instagram stories is also great because it's a casual feature. So all your content doesn't need to be super polished. It's just getting something out there into your followers' hands so they can engage with you regularly. Enjoy your Saturday. I'll see you tomorrow morning for our lucky last video.
you can see why it's fun to play these back, because it also breaks it up a little bit, even though it's just me talking. All right, so LinkedIn. So for a lot of the businesses that we are talking with today, not those who might get the link afterwards, LinkedIn is a really good lead generation tool, so it's great for service industries. So for example, I use LinkedIn in particular for my candid marketing because I'm trying to engage with like-minded people and businesses who are looking for they might be looking for training or, website development or stuff like that, trying to become a thought leader, which is what this one's more about. So you can expand your, don't need to see those. You can expand your professional brand, establish yourself as a thought leader and engage with industry experts to expand your knowledge. I'm just going to hit play on LinkedIn. Does anyone in here use LinkedIn?
I'm on it, but I haven't used it.
Yeah. Karina, do you use LinkedIn? No, that's okay. So, it's just interesting to find out who's using which types of platforms. It's definitely not a selling tool at all though.
Hi, it's Catherine, Candid Marketing, and it's Friday. Woohoo! It's gonna get down on Friday. We said in our socials special we're going to do LinkedIn today, and we are. So what is LinkedIn? LinkedIn is a B2B marketing platform. What's B2B again? Business to business. It's a marketing tool, and it's a fantastic tool for you to be using to generate new leads for your business. LinkedIn is predominantly used in a lot of service-based industries, so like finance or lawyers, marketing agencies like this, for example. Here at Candid, we like stats, and one of the ones we found in preparation for today's video was from HubSpot. HubSpot says that LinkedIn is 277% more effective at generating new leads than Facebook or Twitter. So if you're not using it, why not? Here are our top 2 tips for using LinkedIn. Number 1 is to turn your page into a conversion page. There's a common misconception to think LinkedIn is an extension of your company website, but it's not. It has a completely different purpose. So you need to be using some strong visuals, have some great click-throughs of content that direct people back to your website, and have a really compelling company description. Making sure your content is relevant to your audience as well. Number 2, join the groups. So it's one thing to join a group and not show up. For example, you've got a gym membership, but you never go. Or you play for a sports team. I don't feel like going on Saturday. LinkedIn works the same. If you don't turn up, you're not going to get anything out of it. So being active in these groups and communicating and contributing is the best way forward for you to A, network and grow your profile. The other thing is that LinkedIn also promotes the groups that have a lot of active users. So you want to be in one of those that suit your niche. I hope you've been enjoying this week's social special. So the next clip.
Okay, so creating content. So moving on from the social channels. So what is creating content? It's called content marketing. An example is I follow Candid Marketing on social for their marketing tips and tricks, because these little videos, we put them out quite regularly. Or I love the weekly newsletter I get from Catch of the Day or Groupon or Lolly Licks, Sticky Fingers, or something like that. So it's about creating relevant content to share across all of your channels. It's educational and not promotional, and you're seeking to inform the recipient and not just sell. So we put the tastiest ingredients in our party pies. We get the freshest mints from John, from Berrigan. There you go.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good one. Yeah. So, love our party pies. We do too. Did you know that we get our mints from down the road at Berrigan?
Yeah.
Oh, no wonder they taste so good. That is creating content. Yeah. What does content look like? It could be educational articles. It could be videos like these little ones I've made, which are educational videos, you could say. A blog post, ebooks, webinars, and quizzes, a bit like the quiz we did before. How do I know what content to create? So I know today I've been giving you a bunch of different ideas that you could use within your own businesses. And I said to the others this morning that literally, if you just get a calendar, print one off from your computer and jot down a couple of key product ideas. So on Tuesdays we talk about social media, on Wednesdays we talk about marketing, on Thursday we talk about bread, on Fridays we talk about party pies, on Saturdays we talk about lollies, on Monday we talk about cars because we just did something silly.
We sell fishing gear, we do chainsaw,
Oh, you do heaps of stuff.
Yeah, we've got a lot.
You got heaps of content.
We fix punches in kids' bike tyres and supply
Oh.
tyres, seats, accessories, all
You've got,
lines for
you like,
so it's not just smash repairs.
oh, you've got billions of content then. Yeah, you've got heaps of different things you could do. Easy, that's a good one. So Google does a thing called autocomplete. You know when you've typed something in and it comes up with all those drop downs of different sentences. So that's what an autocomplete. So it's like how to change a tire. How to change a tire might actually be a content that you could do for creation as well. And these are things that are come up most popular. So the example we had typed into here was gardening, so how to grow. And we were thinking about plants, but then it was like taller, your hair fast, potatoes, garlic, ginger. So these are keywords that people are typing in when they're actually the most popular thing that people put into Google. That's why they come up in that order. Strange one. How do I know if it's good content? So it's all about finding that sweet spot. So what you want to talk about as a business and what your followers actually want to hear about you for. It's all well and good to say, my company's the best because we do all these things. But your audience, they don't care. As horrible as that sounds, it's very true. They want to know what problem you're going to solve for them or how you can help them have a better life or something like that. So I want to sell bread. I want to talk about the delicious flour that we use in our bread. I'm the audience. I just want really tasty bread that looks cool that I can take a photo of. So it's about meeting somewhere in the middle. Or you can just give the customers exactly what they want, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to come back and buy a loaf of bread or fishing gear or all these. How to optimize your content. So try using emojis, the little thumbs ups and the smiley faces and stuff like that. The consumer on digital, well, in general, is lazy. They skim, they don't read. You probably do that yourself. I know I do. I read a few sentences, I look for the picture and go, yeah, I know what that's about. Your user is doing the same thing. So you need to don't think of yourself as your business owner. You just mentally put yourself in the shoes of a customer that comes in and you write as if how the questions that they would ask you. Where possible, use video, short and sweet. People love video. They engage with it, they'll watch it. If it's less than 2 minutes, they will watch it. Tips for social. So Kelly asked me before about, how many posts.
That's got my dog.
Now I just got my notification coming up. Bye. Engagement. Algorithms prefer businesses on social media and on their websites that are getting likes and comments and shares. So, I said I've got a client that we do 3 posts a week on each of her social media channels, and that's part of her following is growing quite quickly. There's so much content there that she can't do her full-time job and do that at the same time. So, between the 3 of us in the office, we share it amongst ourselves to get it all done. The size of the content matters as well. Lengthy posts get lots of comments and get lots of reach, but
My dog has
ran away.
gone out evidently. I don't think it is my dog, but anyhow, I have sent the link.
Yeah, okay, yes, yeah. But I wanted to go through that business thing with you. I'll be back.
Size matters, so long posts, just think about it. Do you read really long posts? No.
No.
Sometimes?
If they're interesting.
If it's interesting, so make it interesting then. There you go. There's one question. And start a conversation. Just ask some questions and see if you get a response back. Don't just put content out there. Just make sure to try and make it engaging in both ways. And don't just hit schedule, which you can actually do on all the social media. So get this post to appear up at 4 o'clock. If you're going to ask a question and it's, you know, it's getting traction, make sure you're online to reply to people.
Oh, yes.
That's a pretty simple one. Your social reach is limited. You still need to put some paid spend behind it. So there's like, yes, organic posting will get you so far. Only 4% of organic posts actually ever get seen. So you do need to put a bit of money behind it. Not all the time, but, you know, putting something on there. Paid spend can drive awareness, you boost your engagement, can generate leads and converting sales. And you need to be very clear on the objective of your post. So is my post to get more social media clients? Is my post to get more SEO work? Or is my post to sell more lollies? Is my post to get people to know that I sell lollies? You know, be clear on your objective. A confused mind doesn't buy. Keep it simple. Sorry for those online who are getting my notifications. Any questions?
No.
Online, any questions? So I've got us down now for session 3, so this is the next one. So we'll have a bit of a break. What time is it?
No.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That was closely timed.
So involved, isn't it?
Oh, no.
They're in snippets though, so like.